Welcome to the Black and Unblending podcast, where we discuss the internal family systems model through the Black experience. Introducing Kayla Bell Consalver, licensed mental health counselor, Alicia Jackson, licensed professional counselor, Linda Mayepa, traditional doctor of African medicine, and Shanika Williams, licensed clinical social worker. This podcast is for learning purposes only. This is not medical or mental health advice. Welcome back to the Black and Unblending podcast. We have a really good topic for today as we were sitting like, what are we going to talk about? And thinking of when you're new to IFS and you have an IFS therapist, practitioner, healer, space holder, right? And you've been talking about parts and they finally got a buy-in of like, okay, let's do IFS. Like, well, what does that look like? Well, you have no idea what that really looks like in real time. And so thought about bringing it today and something for us to sit with. And the first thing and we wanted to talk about, of course, is our parts party. So, parts party is where we talk about and name a part that's been coming up maybe lately or even now, or like wanting to speak for something that's requested of you, a new revelation, sharing with you. Yeah, I'll go first. So we even talk about this before we hit record. For me, that I had parts that were like, this podcast is a new level of vulnerability for us. Us meaning my system. And they're like, okay. And like really protective of this space. He really wanted to honor this level of vulnerability that we're bringing as a collective, and even myself, and so I've been sitting with it and letting it know, like, too, that what comes from the heart touches the heart, and how Alicia shows up authentically is really who I am supposed to be. It's been a journey. Parts they're catching up, and updating and learning something, a new lens. So it's good to be here with all of you. Who's joining the parts party?
Oh, flowing. It's good to be here with all of you as well. I have been noticing right now there's this part that's just really been trying to figure out like what is happening inside. Because I've been experiencing a lot of somatic, you know, stuff going on with my body. And even like, working with clients, and I'm finding this part that's trying to like figure it out. Like it needs to ask, like, is this mine or is this a client? And at times it was a client and then it released. And then other times it's like, well, this is mine. And then I'm like, well, then what is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just noticing that right now because I'm feeling some sensations in my belly. And this part is trying to figure it out. Like, is this mine? Or is this coming from elsewhere? So
Mm.
it just wanted me to just name that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, wait, what is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Such a helpful one. Yeah. Working hard.
I really resonated with what Alicia was saying, some of what you were saying, Shanika. There's been a huge somatic upheaval for me the past month. Um, and there's parts of me that are making known that this vulnerable work that we're doing here, like I really need to spend more time with myself, wrapping my arms around what it means to me, because and it's related to the somatic stuff, because that's part of a healing process I'm going through around where I was vulnerable and hurt because of that. And so it's super interesting. I'm super interested to know what I'll discover. But also, there's a part of me that's like, this is terrifying.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
is absolutely terrifying. This is not safe for us. This is,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting because I've done a lot of work around recognizing my own strength, recognizing my own capacity to make myself safe and keep myself safe.
Yeah.
And so it's really bringing those conversations up too. Um, and I guess in new ways, in ways I haven't thought about before or lived before. And so, yeah, heart's party.
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm just also hearing that you like know your system and how it communicates with you, which is like something that's I think so important of what we're like the topic we're discussing too. Like when we're just using like parts language, right, to help a client understand, oh, there's complexity here, right? To notice and accept like that there's more like there's space for all of it to be here, then it's like, oh, now I need to learn my system and learn how it communicates to me. And I'm just like, like you're noticing like, okay, my body is talking and there's some work here and to being with and that's a beautiful part of the journey. It really is. And I think you were mentioning too earlier, Shanika, of like how it's not something we talk a lot about like learning your own system
Hmm.
and learning how it communicates to you and how you like learning how you notice and yeah. So want to make space for that because that feels I don't know, for me it feels like the first step of when for a client and they're asking, okay, I want to connect with these parts. I want to, like, this part of me that's carrying this burden of not feeling good enough or feeling like I have to do X, Y, and Z in order for people to love me or accept me. Okay, what do I need to do? Like, what do I need to do? Tell me, Miss Alicia, tell me what I need to do. Right? And um, I'm curious, yeah, what's here around learning your system and um, how walking through clients through getting to notice their parts when they don't know what it's gonna be like.
Gonna flow it,
So,
Linda? You want me to flow
yeah, I was
it?
gonna say, I'll go.
Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, there's this little girl part of me that's like playing now.
Yes.
so, so what I do is just say, let's just have a conversation and I'll show you
Hmm.
what I mean. Yeah. And so we were talking. Um, so it's important to set the context here. I practice IFS within the context of African traditional medicine. And so it's not in an office. I'm in a garden or
Hmm.
I'm over the phone. Um, so I'm in a lot of different environments. And so it's just very conversational. And I said, let's talk. And then I'll just do some IFS conversation with you. And usually, they'll just talk and I'll say, so you mean there's a part of you that, and there's another part of you that was noticing that, and there was, I start breaking down what I'm hearing using parts language so that they feel it in their body. Um, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like there's just different parts of it, and they've always lived with that, and it's okay. Because there's for me, what I've seen is people are not sure if that's okay.
Yeah.
Like have different parts of them. It's
Yeah.
like no, I mean it's even in cartoons. So
Right? The good,
yeah,
good, the
yeah,
show there, that's
it's
the
in
one.
cartoons, yo. So it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. We're
Yeah.
fine. We're just amazing in ways that we didn't realize.
Mm-hmm. We're so much like we're there. We are so much more, right? Than
Yes.
what these systems, right? We were just talking about too, like these systems tried to press us into, and but yeah, like giving them permission to show up how they naturally show up, like
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that there is complexity. There are different parts of us that have many different opinions, and they all need to be heard.
Right. And just as I help them with their relationship with their ancestors, I help them build relationship with themselves, the different parts of themselves,
Yeah.
right? And invite, right? Invite the different parts of themselves into relationship. When they're ready. Because you know what? Ooh, this world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not ready till you're ready. And there's wisdom. There's wisdom in that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's huge. Consent and permission. Um,
Yes.
so so big on that one, just because that's also a part of building that relationship with parts. Like, all right, so you want to do IFS? Are there any parts that are have any concerns about us doing that,
Mm-hmm.
or like tapping into like what's happening in your body or what you're feeling or these thoughts that are
Mm-hmm.
here? Yeah, huge.
Does that feel complete, Linda?
Yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start.
Yeah.
I'm here for the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I resonated so much with like just having a conversation because I remember in the beginning, I think I was using more of my head and trying to, for one, understand it for myself, but then try to help clients to understand it for them. And then I realized, well, I'm confused with what's happening with me.
Ah.
And the more and this is still happening, I have all these workbooks, all these books on IFS, and have not, I may have read one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Linda, as I was hearing you, I was noticing, and I needed to experience it
Yes.
because
Mm.
I have very analytical parts, very, intelligent parts that can really, like, just keep me here. But the more that I just really just turned in and just started noticing things and just that curiosity, um, started to have me pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And now in doing so, the way, when it comes to working with my clients, I kind of have them do the same thing by asking them to, as we're having a conversation, like, hey, can we just pause here? And I'm wondering, are you sensing, anything in your system? Because sometimes I'm sensing something, and that very thing that I'm sensing is what the client is naming.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But in order for me to have learned how to use that, I couldn't get that from a book in a way because I had to know what it felt like, right? Not just know it, but actually know what it felt like. So, see, here goes some sensations happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I slow down, the more the energy starts to flow, right? And I think sometimes we think of ourselves attuning to the clients, but we forget that the client can also attune to us. Like
Oh,
it's an exchange.
yes.
So the more that I was able to be in flow, I was noticing I'm like being with clients, like they're able to be with me versus I could tell when I was using more of my head, it was like I was trying to get them somewhere,
Mm, mm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what was showing up for me.
Ah, yeah, and you're sharing like your journey of doing the work, which is you didn't have to call out the book buying part, Shanika. You didn't have to do that. You know, us therapists are really bad at buying books and not reading them. I was just telling you about the book on Ancestral Hill that's sitting right in the queue. And it's just sitting there. You didn't have to name that like that, but yes, no. That's so true. I think after finishing my level one, I was like, oh, you need a IFS therapist stat. Like you need to experience the model and experience it. It's like I think too when I think about us as our experiences as Black people too. It's like um I think sometimes what keeps us in our head is like our skeptical parts, and our skeptical parts have kept us so safe in a world that continues to like lie to us and tell us this, the sky isn't blue and the grass isn't green, and that what our experience was or isn't actually happening. And so, honoring those skeptical parts too was like definitely a part of my journey. So when I first got into IFS, I was like, hmm, I guess I'm gonna close my eyes and all of a sudden I'm gonna see something. I don't know, right? Like, okay. But really having a safe space too, like so a safe space for me was having a therapist that looked like me and that was like also authentic and real, like we can laugh and joke about similar things that didn't feel too woo woo, whatever, right? Whatever that means. Like it was something that's like grounded and I could be myself and um and then me experiencing that, right? Then it's like, oh, I can also help my clients and their systems to kind of center into like what it's like, what questions or concerns they have about it, and really start to notice things and how parts show up because parts, like some people are visual, some people aren't, but not every part shows up the same way either. And so taking time with that as well is a
Mm.
huge piece. And I think switching over to get different technology that they named, but yeah, just really leaning into that and letting the client know at the beginning to like your system may be showing up differently, and parts may show up visually, they may show up auditory, like through hearing. You may feel them in your body, maybe a felt sense. It may be an emotion, it may be telepathically. Like parts show up in so many different ways, and just noticing and being open to it to start to build a relationship with those parts. And that in itself is a journey too. As Linda was talking about it. Um, yeah, because I think clients sometimes when the thought of being multiple can be scary,
Mm-hmm.
especially when the only reference is like, oh, are you trying to say I have multiple personality disorder? Are you trying to say I'm crazy? Are you trying
Mm-hmm.
uh, and opening it up to Mhm.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot.
That's a nice reference to the cartoons, but
Yeah, because they could be a risk, because there's also harm done in spaces when people did share their truth.
Yeah.
So they need, have protectors like, no, we can't be plural. I,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I.
Yeah. No, I don't feel anything, or I don't feel anything, or I only feel one thing.
Yeah, that's me. It's
Hmm.
just not me.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Come back, Glenda. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I'm wondering, as you, what if there's more to say to around helping clients notice their parts as they're showing up? What are some things you do in session, or even maybe have them do out of session, or even in
Mhm.
your own journey with learning your parts?
There's this one particular client I'm thinking about, and how we're able to, as we're having a conversation, is actually naming the emotions or the part that's holding the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time that emotion comes up, we have done some work around, why it's showing up. Um, I was able to recognize, or me and this client was able to recognize that the need for safety, because vulnerability wasn't safe. And being curious, around that, it was like, okay, now that makes sense. Like for me, it made sense. Like every time vulnerability would show up, um, there was like a reaction, like, needing to shut it down. So just kind of as we're having this conversation, just naming like, um, what led us to show up in this way when vulnerability is present. And it went back to I wasn't allowed to feel, wasn't allowed to express any vulnerability, because I'm, a boy, I'm a man. I got to man up. And that was just, what helped us to be able to, or have him notice his parts. Is kind of like we couldn't really use parts at first, so we just started with emotions. And
Mm.
then that helped to then be like, oh, okay, there are these different, you know,
Yeah.
parts that show up. And now I'm noticing thoughts that also show up when
Mm-hmm.
these emotions
Mm-hmm.
show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like trying to make it, not make it, but in a way simplifying it a bit, because they can understand emotions, or people can understand emotions and also understand thoughts. Um, yeah, and that was what was helpful, because then like this one particular emotion that shows up needs the camera off. So anytime the client feels that emotion now, the camera goes off for
Mm-hmm.
the client to feel safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's beautiful. It's like um going at the speed of trust is something that I've heard trainer Gwen Hearn say, but like going at the speed of trust with the client system of like, okay, maybe using the word parts is activating or is unsettling, doesn't feel right because like I'm not comfortable with thinking about myself as a multiple. I like, yeah, naming different emotions are here, making
Mhm.
space for the feelings to be here, and then okay, now let's what do these parts holding these emotions need to
Mm.
in order to feel safe to show up to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just shout out how important and how nourishing and safety building it is to just pay attention like that to what a feeling in the body, the emotions, thoughts, like just to get that kind of attention.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly helpful. You know, even when it's super intense at times, um, just being able to talk about that intensity, just being able to have that intensity and have it be held,
Yeah. Yeah.
even as the person holding the space for that, like it is incredibly sacred and
Yes.
important. And the amount of humility I feel
um, being allowed to be there with this person, um, and with what they're feeling or thinking in that moment. Like there's so much of us that isn't seen,
Yes.
Mhm.
both in the small and in the really big senses. And this is a way of being seen safely
Yeah.
and with care
Yeah.
and inviting in what's needed.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Um, and what I found is, yeah, that's in such short supply. Of course, people don't know what that looks like, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because Linda, what you're saying, ooh, like my part to like preach. Uh like the sacredness of one like taking the time to pause. I'm like, ooh, what is that? I I had I'm working with one particular client. I'm thinking one, but this happens not just with this client, but like just like people feel like they're communicating or speaking about their feelings, but they're really not, right? And then realizing that, like similar to what you both are naming, like there's like this distance that's there, like this covering, and they're like, oh, now I'm paying attention to like this. Oh, I'm feeling something here in my chest, and like, oh, okay, notice that. And then what is it saying? And then notice like that, whoa, I didn't even know I felt that way.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, okay, so let's just notice that. We didn't know that we felt that way. Like really like slowing everything down and attending to it, and especially to a people who've had to like shrink themselves, right? Or
Yeah.
had to put a lid on it. And now we're doing something completely, like we're opening up humanity. We're like we're giving their system like just a corrective experience, just in the notice, just in the space, just in the acknowledgement. That's huge, Linda.
Mhm.
It's huge. I think it sometimes too can be a mind shift because there's so much messaging that like what happened to us doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like what happens to us doesn't matter. Or I mean, we're just supposed to get over it, right? And so like, oh, you're saying that like somebody, what happened to me at 4 years old is like still like that's still impacting me today. Like that mattered. Is what you're saying? Like that mattered. Like that is like that is such a as in the therapist seat, it can be such a rewarding space
Mhm.
to really validate, especially my Black clients, like validate their existence and their pain and their their part's journey and what they've been doing to survive a world that tells them something different.
Exactly. Can definitely be like a mind shift, like going from emotions are meant to be, or going to emotions are meant to be felt, not fixed, right?
Yes.
And through the feeling comes the knowledge or the creativity or, you know, the power to then know how to tend to it. But we try to bypass it. And that's, what keeps us like so clogged up in ways where we have no tolerance for certain emotions, right? And being able to not only experience myself, but also watch a client go from needing to get away or disconnect from the emotion to showing gratitude or appreciation to the part holding the emotion, especially because there's so many stories,
Mm.
So many stories behind these emotions, and these stories can operate in the past, present, and future.
Yeah, right. Especially for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's like it's often like because we're living in this world that's still functioning, right? As we are as we're not human, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like we it's like these parts are like no, but I just got this message today that my feelings don't matter. Like I just got it today. Like yes, it happened when I was 4, but I also got it today, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like um really making space and honoring that. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, there's this part that's coming in. It's like, and that's why we have to always be healing because there's always going to be impacts. Like there, because the world is just not safe enough for us to just think like we're going to reach like an ending point. Like, okay, everything has been addressed, right? It's like, no, like it's going to take multiple lifetimes to even, put a dent in all that. Like, just our bodies hold. And I don't think that's talked about enough because I get a sense that when we're working with clients, it's all, we got to be mindful of that there's still like an external world out there. You still got to go out there and survive. So at least for me, speaking for myself, I can't just sell them like, hey, this is going to fix everything. It's like, no, this is going to be an ongoing process, right? Because this stuff don't go away. You just become more aware and attuned of like, okay, how do I tend to it when it happens, not if it happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like okay, yes, that 4-year-old experienced that, and right now this part is still working with the resource of a 4-year-old. And like,
Right.
if we right help build a bridge so that you can help support this 4-year-old. Now you have much more wisdom to help navigate this world that doesn't see you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that 4-year-old doesn't have to be alone in it.
Hmm.
And um and building those relationships using whether it is noticing how your parts show up, if it's, embodied, if it's embodied and there's an image, if there's a body and it's a felt sense, or how even before we get to the body, how does it feel to even think about
Hmm.
connecting with the body? There
Hmm.
has been so much harm historically that has happened to our bodies too.
Yeah.
Like when you think about like connecting with your body, what comes like just notice how like what thoughts or feelings are coming up. Do we feel like we have permission to even
Hmm.
move there?
Hmm. Sometimes when I get clients that's wanting to improve their relationships with others, I like listen to like, what is happening.
Hmm.
And then I ask this question. I say, and can you share with me the most important relationship to you? And typically they may name like, God or their partner, their children, whatever it is. And then I ask, I'm wondering, what does your relationship look like with yourself? You're with yourself 24/7. And a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm not kind to myself, or I never thought of it that way. And sometimes that's the starting point in like turning inward to notice what's happening inside.
Hmm.
um, yeah, I like that question.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's like let's go a deeper level of self-care, right? Like let's go a little deeper.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like self-care. It's like the full-time job that you never applied for. So yeah, let's see what you relate like how you relate to you,
Mhm.
even to like if even if like that's something maybe they're not feeling comfortable going with sometimes just like I wonder what happens for you when right? When your partner, your mom, your child does that,
Mm-hmm.
what comes up for you? And I wonder what, I know you want to get something from them.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I wish we could make that happen. But yeah, what could we do for you that
Mm-hmm.
maybe when that does happen, not such a huge impact. And I see you coming off mute.
The impact of even thinking about what is your relationship with yourself. There are so many of us
Mhm.
so far away from ourselves as a means of survival.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think of it in the construction you were saying, Alicia. It's like we learned that very young,
So young.
and we have experience, knowledge, and skills that we've accumulated through our lives that could be a different solution than separating from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this work gives us the opportunity to explore that too
Hmm.
through, building these bridges
Mm-hmm.
to the present.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Moving towards closing, I'm wondering for you all, if clients are, yeah, really like, okay, we're doing the parts language. Okay. All right, Linda, I hear you. So I got different parts that feel different things. And uh, I want to get to know these parts. Like, what does that look like? What, how do you build a relationship with yourself, like another part of you? Like, right? Um,
For me, it's about noticing, consent, and listening.
mm,
Just notice the part to begin with. Don't run past it,
mm,
mentally speaking.
mm-hmm,
And then just don't dig in. Ask if it's okay to dig in. Okay, maybe dig in is not the term I should be using here because that's not what I mean. Get consent to get to know
mm-hmm,
what's on that part, what that part has to say, what that part is feeling, whether that's a feeling in your body, where it is, where you can notice it, or whether it's an emotion that it's holding. And then really listen because our parts all have stories.
Mm-hmm.
They have stories for us,
mm,
and our stories are everything from sad and tragic to frightening
mm,
to playful to exciting to curious and eager. There's all sorts of different things, different stories that we're telling ourselves at different times. And it's like when you get in touch with the story that a part of you is holding, it helps make your entire story of the whole of you
mm-hmm.
make much more sense. So much more sense.
Yeah.
And that's a feeling that's all yours. That's an experience that's all yours. Nobody can take that from you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. All of that. This is like kind of when my creative side comes out. And I used to be someone who says I'm not creative.
Mm,
Um, like this creative side has a way of seeing or hearing or noticing what is not displayed or what's not highlighted. So sometimes I will use the client's strengths, like what is something that they're already doing that they're good at.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, And I'm just going to use parenting, like, as an example. Like, so I get a lot of clients that's like, well, I don't want to continue, like, the trauma, like in my family, or there's generational curses. So, with my kids, I raise them differently. I'm like, okay. So it sounds like, there's some insight. There's already things that you're doing. I'm wondering, can you take that inward when an emotion or something shows up? Like, how would you want someone to be with you? Like how you tend to your children?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that resonates so much with my system because that's actually what brought me to therapy, is being one of the ones that didn't want to continue, the just the trauma responses, with my children. And I was like, oh, I'm already doing that in a way. What if I applied that to these parts that show up? Um, Allowing them to have a voice or however they show up, like not in a way to change, but to hear, be present with. And that way, for me, it doesn't seem like, oh, I have to do something else. I can just use like a strength or something that I'm already doing and kind of like integrate, parts work.
Hmm. It's beautiful. Yeah. Creativity is such a I'm glad that you see it now.
Yeah.
Glad. So glad you see it now and are to using it with your own work and to work with your clients because it is such a bridge
Hmm.
to like help clients see the resource that inside of them that they maybe don't see yet.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you're already right, you're already showing, and then, oh, what could it be like if you were to give that to yourself? And no, for me, it's like, oh, Alicia shows up big for everybody else. Like I know, like I'm like, oh, so we're gonna extend that inward and really show up for
Hmm.
me. Like I'm gonna show up for me. Come on in, Linda.
I was just going to add, for me, it's really important to write down these parts. Otherwise, they're in my head and then right out my head.
Okay.
And my parts want to be known. They want me to do some work. They want me to like I have a notepad on my phone. I open that up and I put my parts in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if they show up and I notice them, I ask again, that consent. I ask, is it okay if I put you here? Because sometimes they don't want to be worked on right then. They don't want to be no, they're showing up, but don't get too close. So I can put them in the list. Um, but sometimes I gotta highlight that puppy in red or yellow. It's like this needs to be done right now. There's something really important they want to tell me, and I better be listening. They
Mm-hmm.
came here with a purpose.
Hmm.
Well, they all come with a purpose, but that one, they're like, no, you sit down and pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow is like I might have like a day or two. Listen, my system and I, but most of them, uh, you know, can wait until my next therapy session or, whenever I like take some time to get to know one of my parts because I take that time. I take time, used to be daily. Well, okay. Daily I do, but daily like in a really formal way, like turn on an audio guided meditation or something to get to know my parts. That happens maybe once or twice or three times a week. And that's when I pull out that list and I look and see who haven't I talked to lately,
Yeah.
right? Because that having it written down allows me to go back in time and say, oh yeah, Ooh, I remember that crazy story they told me. Oh my Lord, let me see how they're doing. And I just, can check in like that. And
Mhm.
so, um, and it also like gives me a lot of insight into like what's alive for me recently or that day or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, thank you. I didn't say it before, but thank you for showing up and helping me keep my cool in a situation that a few weeks ago would have been away. Okay. So, you know, I can see my growth. I can see my healing. I can see like the ways I'm making different choices, even sometimes
Oh yeah.
in my life. The way I'm interrupting pain that was put on me.
Mm.
Um, I have those capacities because I've been talking to, listening to, getting wisdom from the different parts of me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Keeping record is huge. It's huge. And um I think like writing them down. A thing that I've done is like even drawing out parts that
Yeah.
do draw. So sometimes like parts want you to my parts want me to like capture a feeling in a way. So drawing out a part or even like called like blended journaling.
Mm.
Like where I'm just like, okay, part right. Like what do you want to write out? Go for it. And having it like its story in that way. 'Cause sometimes that helps me um get out of my head
Mhm.
if I'm expressing what they want to say either through art expression or writing. That could be a way to like build a relationship with the part. And I think to which I was like, I don't know if we've ever talked about blending, right? And like what that really means. To what I'm saying, like blended journaling of, when we're blended with a part, it's like we're in the middle of it, like in the middle of the tornado. Like it's here and it's swirling. And then like unblending is like having that tornado sit next to you and then like see like, oh,
Mhm.
and then maybe the tornado like starts to like slow down because it's like, oh, there's an attentive soul here that's like listening. Huh. And there's like a
Yeah.
softening that happens, and there's oh, I'm not in this by myself. Oh, you're here to help. Oh, you care. Oh, can we talk again? Right? Like saying like kick it right.
Right.
Like so when we talking again? Like I got some more stuff to tell you. Right. And like building that trust over time. So it's a journey and it's only natural that parts are gonna have questions about doing this work.
Mhm.
Just welcoming those questions too. Oh, welcoming them. Because I'm a therapist and I was like, I don't know about that. So when I first learned about IFS, so and
Mhm.
I was Captain Fields, okay. But yeah, it takes time.
Mhm. It reminded me of when I started my journey as a little, I think I shared this before, as a little kid, I would already talk to myself. So I would use commuting back and forth to work and I would just talk out loud, just talking to my person, like, all right, who needs a check-in? And I even notice that now because I'm not commuting at work.
Hmm.
I work from home, but when I get the opportunity to be in the car alone, I get so excited. Like parts know that, oh, we about to be talking out loud. And then there's a part like, yeah, because people don't know we talking to ourselves. Like we could be singing a song. But oh, it just feels so good for my system, just having that turn the music off and I could just ride in silence because sometimes they want to talk inside. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just something about that because I do like to journal, but I'm not, I do have like parts that are just like, oh, well, we could do something else. So that was the compromise, like, hey, well, we can talk during the car ride. So now when I do have the opportunity to be in my car by myself, all right, who we talking? Like, who wants to talk today? And sometimes they be bringing that heat. I'm like, okay, all right. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love it though. I love it.
Parts, man.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So, the more I spend time with my parts, the more I realize how much I love them and care for them and how
Yeah.
grateful I am for them. And wondering as we're closing and dipping into the after party of like, what are you taking with you from our conversation today of what does this work look like? How do we do this?
I think it was you, Alicia, who said it regarding your body is talking to you. Because I'm like, okay, well, in that case, my body's screaming at me. So I'm taking that with me.
Mhm.
Um, so it sounds like we have some conversations we need to have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking, I want to have some more conversations about this because there's a lot here, actually.
Yeah.
We touched upon a couple different things, and I'm like, oh, no, no, there's more to touch on. And I think that people would be interested to hear
Yeah.
about. It's like I want to hear this again. I want to hear this recording again and take notes because I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good." And I kept having that feeling of, "Oh man, we should expand on that." Oh, yeah, that was something I wondered about or oh, that's what so and so was talking about. And I think that would be great.
Mhm.
So I'm just taking it away that this is a really rich topic that I hope we return to.
Absolutely. And I do have a part that's like you used to write down your you used to write down your parts, Alicia. You don't write down your parts as much anymore. What's up with that? So I had a part that was like I heard Linda write down their parts. What's going on? And I had bought some cards. I actually did. I bought some cards, like little miniature cards, and I drew like little pictures to capture each part. And I'm like, I need to get my cards back out.
Hmm.
I
And
love that.
yeah, and revisit it. Yes, I hear you. I hear you loud
Hmm.
and clear. Well, thank you all for leaning into this conversation. And yes, I am. It sounds good to dip into even deeper flow. I think what we're naming just even slowing down the journey of getting to know your system and getting to know your parts too. But like, all right, let's slow down this conversation on it and really sit with it, right, in a way that it's in a spacious way too, because it's all healing. Right. Remember we say all the time, but it's all healing. Just what what you all are sharing, like, oh, just to notice is a healing. Oh, just to say, oh, I feel this and this and this. And they don't have to fight like each other.
Hmm.
Like
Yes.
they're all there's space for all of this. It's like, oh, that's healing. It's like, oh, okay. And and us, especially as Black people in this country and even outside of this country, is the pain of anti-Blackness is everywhere. That to do this work is an act of it's a revolutionary act. It's a act of resistance against so many messages that our system takes in. So
Mhm.
Thank you both for joining me today. So I'm wondering, does that feel complete?
Period.
Period.
Period. Wow. Join us next time on Black and Unblending. And remember, there's nothing wrong with being unblended. No, nothing wrong with being blended. Okay. Blended, it just means you're human. And one step at a time, take
Mhm.
care of yourself and peace. Thank you so much for listening to the Black and Unblending podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. See you next time. Take care. Peace.